I think that Luis Molina's doctrine of middle knowledge supplies the key to understanding divine providence and predestination of a world of free creatures toward his previsioned ends. According to Molina's theory, God not only knows everything that people could freely do and everything that people will freely do, but he also knew what people would freely do under any circumstances in which he might create them. And so by creating certain people in certain circumstances, God knew exactly how they would freely choose. These circumstances do not determine the choices. They are free. But God, via this middle knowledge, as Molina called it, knew how they would freely choose in those circumstances. So by knowing his own decree to actualize these circumstances with these people in them, God automatically has knowledge of what will happen. And this can facilitate the planning of a world of free creatures to achieve his ends. So take the crucifixion of Jesus, for example. The Bible says that Pontius Pilate and Herod and the people in Jerusalem did exactly according to God's plan and foreknowledge of what would happen. And I take that to mean that God knew what the Sanhedrin would do if Jesus were brought before them, what Pilate would freely do in condemning him to the cross, what Herod would do in response to Jesus when Pilate sent Jesus to Herod, so that all of this happened according to God's plan, but without abridging the human freedom of the people involved. It is simply that God knew how each of them would react in those circumstances so as to bring about the crucifixion of Christ according to God's plan. And this is so radical because what this implies, for example, is that God knows what you would have done if you had been the procurator of Judea in Pilate's place. Would you have sent Jesus to the cross? That's a sobering question to contemplate.